We're sitting in the parking lot of R&L's restaurant on 158, US 158 west of Reedsville, about 3 miles from my house, our house. And that's the restaurant is where, for a long time, I ate more there than I did at home. When you're living by yourself or there by yourself most of the day, either way, you kind of don't want to fix your food to eat. You go somewhere and let them fix it for you. And R&L's had some damn good food. Now, right there is Monroeton School, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. That's where I went to school, first grade through the 7th elementary school. And that's a better picture of it. And that's where I got most of my formal education. The teachers there were great. They were, well, to me they looked like older women, but I probably weren't. And they would listen to a little boy. They'd let you ask questions, and they didn't give me a hard time for being inquisitive. I found out later on that teachers didn't like that shit. But my 1st through 7th grade teachers, well, the 1st through 6th, I won't go into the 7th grade one. She was a handful for me, and I was darn sure a handful for her. But like I said, I learned most of what I learned right there. And you can see in the corner of the crossroads right there was a little old store building, and James Apple used to run that store. It was more like a hardware convenience store back in the day. And a little kid could sneak off the school bus if he knew the driver and go in there and load his pockets up with candy. He would take his lunch money and spend it all on candy, and by probably 9 o'clock or a little bit after, he'd been tripled or quadrupled or quintupled his money, depending on how good a day he was having, and he had more money than he knew what to do with. So then he could buy lunch and stop on the way home from school and buy cigarettes, anything else, box of 22 shells at the store. And on the left-hand end of that school is a gymnasium, auditorium, whatever you want to call it, where we played basketball and just messed around a little bit on the rainy days. And they put on plays and stuff, and if we had any announcements and everything, made them in there. And to the left of that was a little playground for the 1st through 3rd graders. They didn't want us to mingle, the little people to mingle with the older children, and they played on the right-hand side. The long part in the middle was the classrooms, and the part on the very end down on the right was the cafeteria and other places where they made pretty darn good victuals most times. Sometimes I didn't like them, but most times they was okay. And the far right, I ain't got a good shot of the far right yet, but the far right was a baseball diamond and a playground. We finally ended up with monkey bars and swings and all that stuff down there, and it had a real good baseball field. And played many a game of baseball before school and during recess. And I flew model airplanes after I got a little older. I'd go up there and fly model airplanes. Good place to fly not radio control, but control line model airplanes. So it was always a place of decency to me, and I enjoyed my time there mostly. Now we're going to move on around, and y'all can see the ball diamond a little bit in a minute. And beyond the school is a solar farm. Sarah tells me it's a solar farm. I didn't even know it was there. And you can't see the road as it goes down through there except in a couple of spots. I've been in them woods a little bit, but not near as much as I was around the house. It's a nice view. It looks cloud fields and trees, and there's 158 again. And come on around, and I'll show y'all something else. Now, right in the corner on the left of that intersection, in amongst them trees and everything, used to be a trailer set. Sometime between 1980 and 86, I can't remember the exact date, but I know it was there. My future wife, Sarah, and her then husband had a trailer parked in there. I had a cousin told me this, and I didn't want to disrupt anything, but I was dating a girl in Greensboro, and that was a frequented path, more or less. I went by R&L's and went on up the road and went to Greensboro, but after I found out Sarah lived there in that trailer, I would go by there every time I got a chance. She didn't know none of this till last night in the wee hours of the morning when I was having trouble sleeping and needed somebody to talk to, so I told her some things that she didn't know. And one of them was that I drove by her house, her and her then husband's house, every chance I got, hoping I'd see her out in the yard. We had seen each other for a time or two, and it never was, before we could get together. But I was going to catch her out there in the yard. I would not walk up and knock on the door of a man's house and speak to his wife. I wasn't going to do that. But if I seen her out in the yard, I'd pull over and talk to her. And I was going to tell her that no matter what, when, where, how, why, or nothing, it didn't matter to me. But she knew where Mom and Daddy lived, and they could get in touch with me. But if she became unhappy enough in her situation that she got away from him, and I didn't know him from nothing, I didn't care, that she was to contact Mama, and Mama would get a hold of me, and me and her could finally get together and see if we would fit. But she never did, and I never did see her. I never did see her out in the yard. It wasn't meant to be at that time. But she didn't know that till last night, probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, when I was laying there, couldn't go to sleep, and I told her. So she was pissed at me. But I told her, I said, I ain't going to get up and knock on a man's door, but I'd talk to you out in the yard. She finally figured out what I was saying and agreed with me, because she hadn't been married long, and it took her a while to figure out she didn't need to be married to that gentleman. But I was in a relationship that I really wasn't wanting to be in either, but I wasn't married. And I took my stuff in a plastic garbage bag when I was moved halfway in with that gal, and I took it right back out the door in the same damn garbage bag. 6 years later, it took me about 10 minutes to move out. That's all it took. Bye, sayonara, kiss my ass, go to hell, whatever you want to do it. We were done. And now we'll just move around a little bit and see what's going on. That's Fairview Baptist Church, I think the name of that church. Preacher there brought his 2 little girls with him when he moved in back when I was in elementary school. They were both good lookers. And I think at one time or another, every boy in that Monroeton school had a crush on one of them or the other. That's Monroeton Golf Course. Used to be Tamarack. And I ain't sure what that is. I'll have to ask Steve, but I'm going to guess that's where they kept the golf carts, maybe. The golf cart shed, worked on that stuff and all that. I don't know. It's been so long since I've been on that golf course. I tried to learn to play golf up there. That was a joke. Old Grumpy couldn't learn to play golf. It just made him grumpy. I always wanted to fish in that pond right there, and there's another one right beyond it. Everybody said there was no fish in there, but I know for a fact that if you dig a hole, put water in it, if it's big enough and deep enough, the fish will show up. Either God will put them there, or some fool with a bucket full of fish will dump them in there. It's just going to happen one way or the other. I don't know what causes that, but I thank God it does. That's a pretty sight. Shame I had to mess that whole place up with them golf carts and crap. I didn't mind them golf paths. We could ride bicycles on them when there wasn't nobody looking, but they'd run you off of them if they caught you, especially if it was time people be playing golf. I think that's the clubhouse. Steve could correct me on that one too, but I think that's the clubhouse. And we'll mosey on around. And coming up is a driving range. And I don't think I had a driving range when I was trying to fool with it. And right there is that intersection again with James Apple Store in one corner. And there was a dairy farm on the other corner, and I guarantee you, back in the day, anybody in that area got milk. Probably some of it came from that dairy. I don't remember who owned it. And there's the school again, and the solar panel farm. And if I get the camera still just a second, I honestly think that you can see Hanging Rock, North Carolina, right yonder. I'm not going to swear to it, but that's the only thing I can think that can be in that direction is Hanging Rock State Park. And on a better clear day, it's a little more visible. Come on around some more. Just sitting there vaping, having me a cup of coffee, and looking at the fields and the trees. And I'm enjoying the view. I hope y'all are. right there is a nursery of some kind. They sell plants, or they used to. I guess they still do. Looks kind of defunct now, but I don't remember the people's names. Seemed me like it was Weber's, but I'm not sure. And you used to go by there and get azaleas. Daddy raised azaleas and boxwoods and all kinds of stuff. But they've done it in later years. And I'm coming back down, and that's the 158 again. And I'm trying to figure out which way I want to land. Will I want to land facing me or turn away from me? And I figured I'm right over top of the road, so I better turn that thing the back to me. So right is right and left is left, and never the train shall meet. That's not the way it goes, but anyhow. Come back and, settle down. Easy to do if your right is the same as the drone's right. Anybody fly a drone to know that. And I'm still so new, I don't trust myself sometimes. I'm just amazed that somebody thought these things up, and I had sense enough to find, or Miss Bly had sense enough to find me one. And I got this one. That wasn't a bird. First time I noticed a bird. Coming down slowly. Just tooling around. Dodge them trees. Come on back a little bit more. Going to turn around now. I'm back on my side of the road, and that was Monroeton Volunteer Fire Department. I didn't get much look at that. And that is R&L's restaurant. The sign says open every day till it's closed, but it's not anymore. That was some of the best cooking anybody ever had. Big old juicy ribeye steaks, big ones too. I mean, 20-some ounce ones if you could stand to eat it. Hot dogs, hamburgers, all that stuff was good. Homemade spaghetti on Tuesday nights. I wish Linda still would open that thing back up and do the cooking. Everybody she rented the place to after she closed her part of it ruined it. Sarah Sister Dale worked in there for a while. I don't remember what she cooked or what. I believe she probably cooked. That woman can cook, I'm telling you. But Linda had good recipes, and I expect part of them was Dale's recipes. And it used to be a rough place, had pool rooms and everything, pool tables and everything in there, and I didn't go in there when it was like that because there's people in there I didn't want to see at that time in my life, so I didn't go in there. And then they lost the beer on the premises and just put it back open as a family restaurant. And that was a good deal. Roger said that was a good deal. R&L, Roger and Linda's restaurant. Damn fine place. I missed the hell out of being able to eat in there. Well, I'm going to wrap this up now and be done with this video. May come back, may not. Y'all endeavor to persevere, as I'm going to tell you in a minute.